Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Stephanie Lucas. I am the founder and CEO of the Annuity Consultants, and we are very excited to have Andrew Lane, although it says Stefi Lane, with us today. And Stefi is on audio. We were having a little bit of a technical difficulty, so she'll chime in where it's needed, but Andrew will share screens and do most of the presentation today. So today we're going to be talking all about social media and how you can leverage that with your network to grow your insurance business. So before we get started, a couple of housekeeping tips. If you have questions, definitely ask them. So throughout this presentation, Allison will chime in with any questions that you do have. If you want to make them private, you can do that, but to the right of your screen, you'll see that you can enter the questions there, and if it's something that we can answer privately that doesn't need Andrew, Allison will give you feedback as well. So, and then we will be recording this, so it will be available at the end. In the next day or two, we will send out that recording along with links to any resources that Andrew and Stefi provide to you today. So any of the tools that they recommend, we will definitely get links out to you. And then again, Andrew and Stefi, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thanks I'm excited to be here.
Yay. So a little bit about our speakers. Andrew Lane is the founder of Design Hacker. He's a graphic designer and brand professional, certified internet marketing expert, and over $3 million in online sales. Andrew is passionate about helping entrepreneurs build profitable online brands that make an impact, and he's been building online businesses for the past 10 years and has helped over 50,000 entrepreneurs through this work. That's quite the accomplishment. That's a lot of people. So, and then Stefi, as a mentor, entrepreneur, wife, healer, world traveler, and marketing nerd, her expertise has woven between various fields, quantum growths, as well as teachable setbacks. Yeah, we all have those. But it was the path of business that kept inviting her back in and uncovering that an abundance business is a catalyst for an abundant life. It was also the path of business that showed her that the true leadership is both soft and wild. She's since devoted herself to not only creating successful business owners, but magnetic leaders. And I'm totally messing up your bio, I apologize.
It's all good.
The leaders that pave the way for themselves and everyone around them to expand into prosperity, pleasure, love, and awaken their power. Having served over 300 women with personal transformation, leadership, and business growth, she's had the privilege of witnessing women entrepreneurs ravish in extraordinary opportunities. The truth is, when you remember your own magnetism, it all becomes a playful field for your highest pleasure and success. Her mission is to show you how. So super cool. I love what you guys are doing together. And also, I've had the pleasure of working with them, and they've created a lot of content for my company. So that's why we have them here. So welcome, and yeah.
Well, thanks for having us. I think there's a lot we can share today and a lot of value that we can bring. I might show my screen a little bit, but I think just having a conversation around content marketing, content creation, building an online brand, that's where we can really focus in today and give you guys some actionable steps to make a huge difference, because the opportunity here is a year from now, your business could look a lot different, and your brand authority and your reputation and your audience size could be drastically different 12 months from now than it is right now. And that's going to ultimately want to make sure that translates into more cash flow, more reliable income, and less stress and less work at the same time. So you want me to just dive in? And I think on those, it was interesting hearing the bios, myself and Stefi, because we kind of bring in that masculine, feminine energy where we're very different. I'm very tactical, very results driven, and Stefi focuses more on the energy, how you feel, like making sure this is enjoyable as you're doing all this work. So our goal is to help you find that balance through technology, through mindset and strategy.
And we love that. I mean, it's so in line with our heart-centered planning. So, and huge reason why I wanted to work with you guys. So,
I love that. Well, thanks for sharing that. And I love when people create the strategy, create the content, but there always is something lingering in the back stopping you sometimes, whether it's like a little story or a big story. And we've had clients go through some of our courses and our content creation, and then usually I'll pick up on, you have a hard time showing up, or you don't like things seen, or you don't like things visible. And that's what I can bring, where Andrew doesn't feel very comfortable acknowledging that. Well, Andrew's pretty good at it now.
That's awesome. Well, I'm very excited for you guys to be sharing these different tools and hacks with our audience. So yeah, definitely dive right in and show us what you got.
Cool. Yeah, I'll just riff a little bit, interrupt me at any time. But the main point I want to get across today is we all have, I think anyone listening to this, you see the possibility for yourself to become an online influencer of some sorts, or an online authority, where when people are searching for answers, you want to show up as the person with the answers. And that's long term, that's going to automate your lead generation and your sales without having to pay for advertising, without having to do cold calling or cold emailing. And it'll make it much easier to close sales, because when people come to you, they know who you are. They already are in alignment with your message. They understand the value that you bring and the problem that you solve, and they're going to want to pay you. That's how you want to position yourself. So the way you do that is through consistent content creation. That's maybe not what you want to hear. There's not, you want the easy button. But the truth is, the people who are succeeding online, what I've heard them termed is the key person of influence in their industry. And there's actually a book called Key Person of Influence that you'll definitely want to read. But it's really the people who are making money online are the ones who have positioned themselves as the key person of influence. And to do that, you have to be known, right? And you have to be known not just for your favorite breakfast shop that you go to every morning, but then you need to be known for solving problems. So it's not just creating general, like, personalized content and being fluffy and friendly. You want to solve problems for people and become the go-to person. When people are searching for answers in your space, you are there as the trusted guide. You're positioning yourself as an expert in your field, as an authority, as a helpful resource for them. And ultimately, you're going to move them from looking for an answer to finding you, to learning from you, and then wanting to consume more of your content or engage with you in a more direct manner. Maybe that's subscribing to an email list or getting some free resources from you. But ultimately, you're moving them towards working with you somehow, right? So what are some of the ways that, Stephanie, you can educate me a little bit, like what does that look like for them? What is the ideal client, like, as far as getting payment? Is it by working with them directly as a consultant, or recommending programs to them? Maybe you can just help me out with that.
Yeah, so the majority of the people that are on here today are going to be selling some form of insurance, or they have assets under management. So they could be, looking to help with retirement and income planning. They could be working with estate planning or tax planning. There's a wide variety of people that could be on here today with us. So selling a policy or assets under management. So they would be looking for it, they charge a fee to manage that money. And so it is sort of a consulting capacity, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what,
yeah. Perfect. So traditionally, how are they finding those, the clientele?
Yeah, so a lot of people in this industry rely on purchasing leads because they don't know how to get in front of that ideal prospect. If they have become an authority in their area and they have a great client base that, knows them, likes them, and trusts them, then they're going to get referrals. And so it really, really depends. how long they've been in the business and what they've been able to do to build up a community around them. If you're doing comprehensive planning and you're having regular meetings with people, then you're building more of a relationship versus somebody who's just selling policies where it's transactional and they don't build a relationship. So, we're looking to help those people that really want to build the community, they want to build the relationships, and they want to cultivate, that ecosystem around them to feed their business and their life. That's our ultimate goal here.
Great, that's perfect. So did you have something, Steph?
No,
okay, no
I'm
problem.
good.
I thought I heard you. So perfect. So what I'm hearing then is what you can do in the short term is continue to do what you're already doing to get leads and clientele. And maybe that's buying leads, but mostly it's going to be through building relationships by getting referrals. And that's great. Don't stop doing that. But what you can start to pivot towards is taking the content that you are already explaining over and over again to your current leads and customers and start to record that, right? So this is really easy. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here. What you want to start doing is giving yourself some freedom, like better leverage your time by recording those common questions that come up or stories that happen, and record it. Just sit down and record it one time. And now you're going to start to build a library of recorded videos that either inspire your clientele through storytelling and sharing examples of what's been happening for your other clients, or educating them on some of the FAQs and just tactical things that they could be doing or considering, right? So there's all these different pieces of content that you already have in your head right now that you're probably creating every day, but you're doing it the old-fashioned way, talking one-on-one to people. So the way you can start to shift right now is to just commit to starting to record some of the things that come up all the time. And that might just be every day sitting down at the end of the day and think through the conversations that you had that day and think through what worked well, right? So what are the conversations that really made an impact or gave your client that epiphany that they needed, or really was, help them shift to a better mindset or understanding of the services that you're providing. And this is golden content that no one else in the world can replicate, right? So there might be answers out there for the same kind of questions, but no one has your experience to answer it in that way. And maybe you're helping a certain type of clientele, or maybe you just have people that you're working with that other people out there would resonate with more. And especially people who are tough to sell or who are resistant, and then you develop like a long relationship with them. What you can do is multiply that result that might have taken you months or years to develop and harness a relationship, and to move them towards taking the action that you know is going to be best for your client, but they were resistant, maybe they made mistakes. Just by packaging up that experience that you had as a story that might take you 5 minutes to tell, could immediately turn random strangers out there in the world into raving fans of yours, and people who are like, wow, I need to go work with this person because I see that they've worked with people like me. I see that they've overcome some of these challenges with their clientele, and I think that they're the person I should go to and work with long term. So that's one step right now I'd recommend before you get into any tech or like detailed strategy of getting online and all the fears and challenges that come up with that. Just start to think in terms of how can I better leverage my time and stop repeating myself, and start to package up what's working into small videos that I can share with future clientele.
Yeah, and to add to that, a couple of things. One, I absolutely hated being on video. Like, it was a thing that I had fear of, and it was just this weird thing that just was always there, and recording all, over and over and over, just getting more and more content out there, I just became more and more comfortable with it. And when I share that with people, they're like, what? I mean, I've seen your videos. You're comfortable, you're fine, you present well, and but it took me getting over that. It was a limiting belief that it was there, and for whatever reason it existed. And I know that there are definitely people on this call that probably feel that way as well. But who cares? If you touch one person and your message resonates, like, that was all worth it. And then one other point is, you don't have to have a studio. You don't have to have like really expensive equipment. I do a lot of my videos that are, the 2 minute, 30 second, whatever videos on my phone. your phone is a wonderful resource, and they are so good, you know. So getting a little tripod and having a little remote and cranking out these videos, it's very simple. It doesn't have to be a whole production.
Yeah, and most people don't want to be influencers. I get it. I understand that not everyone wants to be influencers, but you do want to be an authority.
Yes.
And the easiest type of content, I will tell you, the easiest type of content is the conversations you're already having with people. So so-and-so says that she's so confused about this offer. Perfect. Why people are confused about this offer. You can do it in a written form, you can do it in a video form, but it's a way for you to basically create a mini FAQs. Like, people are going to be having questions, but you're going to be like, hey, I already answered that in this video, or I have this content. And it also, you get better at your craft because you understand your process.
Yes.
These are great points that you're bringing up. So the fear of, like, I think that the leap that you're describing, and maybe this is the common misconception, is, oh, for me to become an online influencer or authority, I have to have all the bells and whistles. I have to have these professional, slick videos. That's not what it means. That might have been the case 10 years ago, but things have changed a lot. And I'll tell you right now, I've gone through hundreds of online courses. Some of them are in the range of thousands of dollars, like premium training programs online. And if you follow people online now, you'll see this too. But the point is, these programs that are online now that cost thousands of dollars in training, a lot of them, and actually the majority of them now, are very basic. There's no fancy video production quality. They're giving value through the content that they're sharing, and they're just showing up. Maybe it's recording on a Zoom or basic tools to record. You could even use your phone if it's that simple. People don't really care anymore about that premium quality or you looking like, the in-studio professional.
Yeah.
They really just want the answers. They want someone that they can trust, and that's your job, is to just share what's working and show up as you are right now and do your best to help them. Like, just like you would if they came into your office or if you met them at a coffee shop. Are you afraid of doing that? Probably not, because that's what makes you money, right? You know that if I go have that conversation, this can translate into dollars and a better lifestyle for me, and it can help them with the problem that they have. So just start right now. And if you're worried about going from 0 to 1,000, like getting all these content out there online, and then you have the problems that might come up with that, people bashing you or whatever, like problems that could happen, you don't need to jump to that level of having thousands of followers. The truth is, when you start sharing content, no one's really going to engage with it right away. So you're going to develop over time. And this is a long-term process, and you're going to get better as you go. And by the time you do potentially have hundreds or thousands of people viewing your content and chiming in, you're going to be way better than you are right now. But you can't get there if you just try to jump ahead to that point. You're going to have to get better every day. And it can start right now with just recording private videos. Create your own private library of content. If you're really scared about getting on camera, just create content that you're only going to share privately with your current clients or potential leads, and say, hey, that's a great question that comes up a lot. I made a quick presentation to address some of these points. You can go ahead and watch the video here. It could just be private things that will help speed up your time and make your life easier. So you don't have to keep doing these sales calls. You could have a preparation video where you send them to that, answers a lot of their common questions, and you book a call with them. These are little steps you can take, but that's going to start moving you towards becoming more of a content creator. And the long-term plan here is, if you do start to share that publicly and you do it the right way, a year from now, you could just have leads coming in every day automatically that are people who have already spent a lot of time with you. And this is the big concept of Key Person of Influence, the book, is people who come to you are going to feel like they know you already, that they've spent hours and hours of time with you. And here's one thing to write down right now or think about. A question that we ask a lot of our clients, and really is a difference maker for you long term, is if someone came to you right now and wanted to know what you do and how you can help them, could they sit down for an entire day and consume content from you? That's the difference right now between you and the leader in your industry, is they're going to that person who has content for them, and they might not do it, and it's not saying that they should sit down all day and watch videos of you, but could they? Do you have enough information online to where someone could go and watch all your videos, consume your blogs, your written stuff, all your content, and at least have a full day of content available for them? And if not, then that's the direction you're moving in.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
you
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
And I was also going to add that look at your own way of how you bought things, how you have purchased things. I'm sure you didn't purchase things right away, right? You looked around, you researched, you listened, you poked around, and that's okay. Like you need to do those things. And so you have to create this pathway for people to get to know you, to get to know your message, to get to know your vibe. And we're living in an age where people are really focusing on where they put their dollar, and they
Yeah.
want to put it into people that they value and values as. So if you don't have the same values as them, they're not gonna want to work with you, and that's great because then the person that has the same values as you is going to want to work with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's another thing we talk about all the time is like, you don't have to work with everybody. You want to attract a specific person that is going to connect with you on a deeper level.
And I think in the professional space, you don't necessarily have to get into too much of your personal stuff, but it's more about your energy, how you're showing up,
Mm-hmm.
the way that you communicate. You don't have to go into like all your political beliefs and religious views or
No.
whatever. You can just, it's more of like how you're showing up. So if you're more friendly and relatable and personal, maybe share some personal experiences, but again, relating it back to the problem that they have. And through the stories that you tell, like, hey, I work with these kind of clientele. And maybe you can relate to John here, who was struggling with this, and then we worked through it, and boom. That's kind of how you're going to attract the right kind of people. It's just through
Yeah.
the stories that you're telling, the examples that you're providing. So if you're talking about like 8-figure CEOs, and that's the stories that you're telling, you might attract more 8-figure CEOs versus, the mom and pop business owner or the retired couple, right? So it's just niching down in that sense of who are the clients that you're already working with, who do you enjoy working with, share some stories around that, and that'll kind of bring in more of those people.
Yes.
So we've addressed a few key things here. Ultimately, long term, the short term is just getting used to creating content, leveraging your time better, and get that stuff recorded. Start to document what's happening, what's working, and put it on video. And then once you go from there, you can start to share this content on social media. And let's get into some takeaways here, like some tactical tricks. What do you
Yeah.
think is like on people's minds right now? What are they looking for, Stephanie? You can
Yeah.
help me go in the right direction.
Yeah, so as far as like editing video and, getting that content out there, not that it has to be perfect, but um, are there any, tools that would help them do it easier and quicker, or like, what do you recommend?
Yeah, so there's a few ways to go about this. As you were saying, that if you use technology as an excuse to not create content, or you're worried about it not looking right, uh, that could be a problem for you. And just be real with yourself if you're using that as an excuse. I'll mention a few tools here in a second, but one example is there's a guy who decided, hey, you know what? I just want to get out there on YouTube. I want to get my content out there. I want to get my message out there. I'm going to make one video a day for 90 days. And he went from having no YouTube followers to now he's got hundreds of thousands of followers, and he's making tons of money with multiple streams of income. And when he shares stuff, people listen, respond, buy his stuff. They go to him for recommendations. And that didn't happen overnight. That took consistent content creation and sharing it. Now he was cool with doing that, right? So he was just held up his phone and did selfie videos and just shared quick little things that came up. He committed to doing that every day. So that's how simple it can be for you. If you're comfortable doing that, that's all it takes. You can upload it to YouTube and literally be done. But if you want to get a little bit more technical and a little bit more strategic, a lot of the tools that I use for recording are right here on my computer. So you can get a little webcam or use the built-in camera on your computer. You can use tools like loom.com. Zoom is another one to record your videos. And where's another one? I like you going live. Another way to get over your fear of content creation and making it perfect is record it live. So you could do live video recordings. One tool that I like is called StreamYard for broadcasting on all my social channels at the same time. So I could just I could go live, once a day or once a week, once a month, whatever it is, have a few tips that I'm going to share, just record that right there on my computer, and I could stream that onto all my social channels at the same time. And now, boom, I've just shared great value all over the place. The thing there
Mm-hmm.
is the key is that you want to get something recorded, because the recordings can be turned into lots of different types of content. And what I would do with the recordings, wherever you record it, is the tool that I really like is called Descript, and it's about $30 a month. But what you can do is take all your video content and upload it into Descript, and it will transcribe everything for you. So it transcribes your whole video, and then you could edit things right there as if you're editing a Word document. So
Yeah.
this is the easiest video editing tool you'll ever find, because it's literally going to write up everything that you said in your video. And then if you go and delete a word, it'll delete it from the video. And you can automatically remove uhs and ums and pauses and awkward moments, or if you corrected yourself, you just go in and just like you're typing on a Word document, you can edit your video in just a few minutes by using their simple editing tools. And you can also just take out parts of it. You could even highlight. So imagine you have a paragraph that was really good. You know, something you said, a few sentences that were a really good point. You can highlight that and just export that as a video clip. So now you can have a 30-second video clip that you could share. So it's a really cool video editing tool that I recommend. The other cool thing is you can export all the text. So you can just actually have all the text, and you can then use that for written content if you want to write blog articles or social media posts or create little quotes of stuff that you said. So you can repurpose that one video content into graphics, written text, emails, blog posts,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really easy to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to add something about live video. I have seen a huge transformation in my personal growth and in Andrew's growth by getting over going live. And there's nothing like going live because you're live, but you become an expert at it. You start practicing, you know how to work the camera. It doesn't happen overnight. Am I saying going live in front of like all your Facebook people? No, actually, Andrew and I are big advocates for people doing it in a closed container. So if you need to like get a Facebook group, add a few friends or a few clients and tell them like, I want to give you guys great resources in here, and you can practice inside that Facebook group, knowing that that's the place for you to get better. And you will see your transformation. You'll see your growth a lot faster than trying to create this perfectly recorded, pre-recorded video, because honestly, pre-recorded videos give me a ton of anxiety because they're never perfect. The lighting's never perfect. The sound, oh, I said, I messed up.
Totally.
Where in live, you have to be way more forgiving of yourself. And then you see your progression pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point. I've seen that from hundreds of entrepreneurs that I've consulted for or coached, and you can go right now. This is one thing you can do right now. The easiest place to start practicing doing creating content and sharing stuff is go to Facebook, create a Facebook group, make it private, and like Stefi said, bring in 5 to 10 people who be interested in this content, and just start sharing in there. So you could record live into a group, and maybe only those few people see it. Maybe it's just 1 or 2 people. It could be nobody, but you're just doing it to get used to recording. And it's much more comfortable when you know who's going to see it, you know, who you're talking to. So you're not like, hey, universe, like, hey, I'm going to be sharing some, like, you're just so broad. Like if you're talking to people like, hey, really excited to be sharing this with you today. This is going to help a lot of you. I've seen this question come up a lot, or I wanted to share a quick story that was really helpful. That might be really helpful for you. You're talking to a small group of people, and you can still scale that into sharing that video with the world. But by starting there in a small space, you're going to come across more authentic, more helpful. Your energy is going to be focused in really specifically on who you're helping. And you're going to feel like what's going to change for you is you're going to go from worrying about creating all this content in your marketing to how can I help my small little group?
Yeah.
How can I help them? What are things that they need right now? You're going to find at night, you're going to be thinking like, I saw that question come up, like, what could I do to help them? Or how could I answer that in a different way, or share a story that would inspire them, or keep them up to date on certain things that they really need to know about. And so by thinking that way, you're thinking in terms of helping a small group of 5, 10, 20 people, but that's going to get you in the habit of creating content that's really helpful, really dialed in. It's going to help you shine as a leader, because when you turn that recording into public YouTube content or sharing it on other channels publicly, people are going to see that difference. You're not here like, hey, I'm Joe, the expert, and I'm helping people all around the world. No, it's like when you record it in a small group to a select audience of people that you know and care about, you're going to talk differently to them. And that's going to come through that heart energy, right? You talk a lot about that, Stephanie. Like your heart is going to be really focused on helping and serving and making a difference for them. You're going to get over yourself really quickly. And now, boom, you just created great content that you might feel a little scared taking that video clip and sharing it publicly. That might take a little time for you to feel confident or comfortable enough to do that, but it will happen. You're gonna get to a point where you say, this message needs to get out there. This video needs to be shared. And yeah, I recorded it maybe a month ago or a week ago to my small private group, but I need to get that out to more people. And that's going to be a nice shift for you. Once you start to feel that way, it's like, okay, how can I start showing up more for my group? And then how can that content start to impact more people and start to attract people to me?
Yeah, and just with that, I like to take notes throughout the week of different topics I'm going to record on, and then I take time to record all at the same time, right? So when you're thinking about those things that you need to say or a story you want to tell or whatever, keep a journal or a note on your phone about these topics, because you can knock out a bunch of content all at the same time. So you don't have to get all ready every day to do a couple of videos. You can do them all at one time and get it taken care of. Like maybe designate a couple hours a week to that type of content for your business.
That's perfect. So that's the next thing I would recommend is creating some kind of cycle or schedule for recording this stuff. What's worked for me over the years is having a specific date and time each week that I'm going to record live or broadcast live into my private Facebook group. And that just gets you on a cycle of knowing, like Steffi said, if you're trying to record this and do a perfect recording, you might just end up spending hours trying to record a 5-minute video because you're stopping and starting again. But if you have a deadline every week that you're promising a group of people, you're saying, hey, I'm going to show up, Thursday nights at 6 p.m. and I'm going to share 3 things each week that you need to know about, or maybe it's just one topic each week, but you can have some kind of create limitations for yourself and like create deadlines for yourself so that you have to show up, or else it's very easy to let it slide down the road and months go by and you haven't done anything yet. So
Yeah.
right now you can just set a date and say, all right, I'm going to do at least make it easy for yourself, like a 5-minute video, one tip every Thursday night at 6 p.m. If that's it right now, that's going to get you some momentum. It's going to help you start moving forward. And you could be in a totally different place. Again, 12 months from now, if you start doing that every week, you are going to transform as a person, as a leader, as an educator, as a guide, and that's going to translate into more confidence, more relationships, getting known, and getting more referrals.
Yeah.
And you'll figure out the tech and stuff later. But if you start doing that, at least now you're going to want to figure out more of the tech, right? So if you get over the content creation hurdle and some of those fears, you start producing content every week. Now it's like, all right, how do I get more leverage out of that content? And that's where the strategies come in. That's where posting on other social channels, that's where editing your videos and chopping things up. And you can hire a VA to do that. You can hire people. There's, we offer a service to do that for you. So using, getting that content out to more people, there's a lot of strategy behind that. There's, ways to optimize it for sure, right? You could just post it, but that's one, just putting content out there doesn't make a difference for you. It's consistent, it's strategic, optimized posting. So that's where you need to think about what you're titling your content, what you're writing in your descriptions, where you're sending people when you post it. So having a destination for them to go to get more information from you, or subscribe to your email newsletter, or book a consultation with you, right? So these are things you want to think about if you're going to start posting on a regular basis. You do want to have some strategy there.
Are we talking about your like call to action?
Yes. So every post having and it's okay to have a call to action on every post, and it's okay to say the same thing every day of the week. These are also mistakes people make. Oh, I put that content out there once, so I can't say that again, right? Yeah. Or I can't have too many calls to actions in my content. You have to realize people are busy. They're not following everything you're posting. They do not really understand what's going on in your world, or they forget very quickly. They might see it at a passing glance, or they're busy. Your job, your duty is actually to take a couple main points that you want to get across and that you want to be known for, and say that every single day. Like repeat the same message over and over and over and over. That's how you're going to build your brand. That's how you're going to be known for something. That's how people then will know, like, oh yeah, my friend John over here, he does that thing, or he could help you with that, right? You have to reinforce your message over and over and over, and just don't worry about it if someone sees the same thing twice. And I'm not saying post the same video like every day, but
Right.
say the same kind of thing over and over and over. Maybe it's through a graphic, through a video, through a quote card. You can post a video replay, right? Maybe you make a video once. You could put reminders out there a couple times a week. Hey, in case you missed it, I did a training on this last week or yesterday. Go watch it here. Here are a few takeaways from that video I made yesterday. You can go watch the replay here, or just click this link to book a consult with me. All right, so you can take that one video and turn that into easily a week's worth of content just by reminding them of what you said in that video and linking over to it to have them go watch it. Or if you just want to work with me now, you see what I'm doing here, book a call or grab my free training or download a resource or getting started guide.
Yes, I love that. I actually heard one time that you should have like 5 topics that you talk about, and you talk about those constantly. Is there something to that?
100%. That's really just brand building 101. 5 might be a little too much. I would try to whittle it down to like 3, but
Okay.
there's not one right answer here. It's
Yeah. It's just being consistent with your topics.
Yeah,
being
you're
really
saying the same
clear.
thing. Oh, you're saying the same thing over and over again, but just in different ways and in different stories.
Now, what about like creating that content? So if you're saying the same thing, but you don't want to say the exact same thing, right? Using the same words, is there a tool that you would share about creating the content differently with the same messages?
I'm glad you brought it up. I think I know where you're leading me. So, doing a lot of research with my clients, we've been trying to find faster ways to write content. So getting on video is one thing, but written content is really key for all those descriptions. So every time you post some kind of graphic or photo or video, the descriptions are really important, especially on YouTube, but really anywhere, because most times people don't watch your whole video. They just want to get a quick summary of what you said or get the key takeaway. So the written content is really important no matter how you're marketing yourself. But one tool, and I could show my screen here if you want, we can do a little playing
Yeah.
around. So one thing I've been researching to save myself time and help my clients better is I found an artificial intelligence copywriting tool that will literally write amazing marketing copy for you. Okay, this is mind-blowing stuff. So I'll just share my screen, but I'll talk it through. So if anyone's just listening, we could also have that available. So what this tool is called is copy.ai. And we've got a link we can get you guys that'll give you a discount on this, but the normal price is 49 bucks a month, unlimited copy. And what this is literally $1 billion platform with supercomputers that have crunched 10% of the internet, and they've learned how to talk like humans and explain ideas or share concepts in a way that it's like you hired a professional copywriter to create amazing marketing messaging for you. So we can do a little demo here. It's a very cool new technology that may save you tons of time and help you feel a lot more confident when you're sharing your messaging. So where we could start, Stephanie, is I think what might be best is finding someone out there who has, can you think of a client that is marketing themselves right now or has an online brand that we could use as a demo?
I mean, you could use mine.
All right, so we'll use the, go to your site.
Yeah, because I think at one point you took like a description that we had. I don't remember if it was like on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook. You took that description and popped it in there, and then sent me like page after page after page of like things that I could say that related exactly to that, just saying it in a different way. I was like, where did you get this? And you shared, I was like, wow, wow. So
Yeah, this exactly. All right, so let's play around with this. So I'm going to take your description where you wrote, the Annuity consultants team strives to bring ideas, concepts, and helpful tips to the insurance and financial industry. We work closely with RIAs IARs and independent insurance agents. We assist in developing your business from both a marketing and product perspective. So that's kind of your basic, like, this is what I do, right? You describe your product or service.
Totally.
And that's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of like fluffy language there or like creative things. It's filled with a lot of jargon that I don't even know. You know, I'm not in your industry. So like, what are RIAs? I have no idea.
It's a registered investment advisor, but they would know if they read it, right?
Of course, yeah. So your crowd, of course, knows this. Maybe your potential client may or may not really understand some of that. So what we can do here is take a basic thing and run it through this tool, and it's going to say it in different ways and describe it in different ways. And in some ways, it'll describe it better than you could ever do it yourself. So right out of the gate here, we took that, and some of the outputs are: the annuity consultant is your one-stop shop for all your annuity needs. RIAs, IARs, independent insurance agents can turn to us for innovative ideas to help them grow their business. We work closely with you from a marketing and product perspective to build a loyal client base.
Oh, I love that. I should just copy and paste that onto my thing.
It's amazing. So it's really good. Now that's one way to just better explain what you do and try to articulate what you do more clearly. And you can take any part of your business and run it through this. That was the first output. We have unlimited outputs. So it's going to say, it's going to write a bunch of stuff here and say it in different ways. But if you like the first one, you can just copy and paste that, and now you're moving forward. The other thing you could do is, go ahead.
Then you have like all of these different, you know, and you have now 10 different ways to say the same thing. So now you've created 10 different posts that sound different but are the same message.
Yeah, and the other thing you can look at too, there's a few other tools. This has like 70 tools that are all trained on different types of content. So
nice.
you could even go through, and there's some really fun ones, even like video titles. You could run that through your description, and get video title ideas, or describe your video and it'll give you titles. So maybe, I mean, if we just ran that exact same thing through video titles, I'd just be curious to see if you just described your video.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Part 1, introduction. So it's kind of business requirements and team members. So it's coming up with some ideas. It wasn't the best description of a video there, but if you had a specific thing you were talking about in your video, you could run it through a tool like this to get video title ideas. Another fun one is just the change tone tool. So this is really cool because what you can do is I'm going to take that description. What would you like to rewrite? So that one that we just got from it, the one-stop shop for all your annuity needs, and we could write it in a more adventurous or persuasive way. So let's try the persuasive one, and it's going to rewrite that in another way. And this has been really cool for marketing, like you said, saying the same thing in different ways, and maybe in a more persuasive or friendly way or adventurous way. You could run it through, and look at this. It'll find different ways to position the same concept. So it started here, this first one: if you're an independent agent that needs a variety of annuity products, please get in touch with us for more details about our many innovative programs. So think about what it just did there. It took that description we just gave it, and then it positioned it in a way that's more interesting to your ideal client, for you, Stephanie, right?
Yeah.
This is actually talking directly to your clientele. So that's the persuasive angle. So this tool is trained on persuasive copywriting that works, right? So it's a robot that's going to write. It knows everything about your business and your customers because it studied everything on the internet, and now it's writing words for you to help you communicate more effectively.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, this is one thing I was like, we definitely have to share this. Everybody needs to know about this. Because who has time to sit and like write content, especially if that's not your area of expertise, you know? And not everybody has a content writer on staff. So.
Yeah, and copywriting is a skill that you don't learn in school. There's actually a certain formula to it, and it can be quite challenging. And for at least for myself, it was a huge learning curve for myself to learn how to actually write copy. So then when you start to use copy AI, at least you start to see, okay, this is kind of the formula. This is what they're using. Then you get better at it.
Yes, that's awesome.
And it's seeing these copywriting principles, right? So how do you write a post that is interesting, engaging, helpful to your audience? without saying the same thing every day, like I do this and I will help you with that. Are you struggling with it? It's like just finding different ways to articulate the value that you're providing and showing up as a leader. A tool like Copy AI can give you tons of ideas in a few seconds on how you can better position yourself and speak more clearly to the problem that you're solving. And then that'll elevate you to a whole different level as an online authority.
Yes. All right, so I
Plus, you
think
can turn that into videos.
that's true. So true. So I think we have time for maybe one more tool share if you've got another one that you want to talk about.
Yeah, let's see here. I had it pulled up. Let me find my list. All right. Of all the tools that I love, let's see what might be fun. So Descript we mentioned. I really like StreamYard for recording your videos. Copy AI. As far as visuals go, there's a lot of stuff out there like Canva. You could
Oh,
use
yeah.
those tools. I use Google Slides a lot for my content, and I've actually built a design system on Google Slides to keep your branding consistent. So just the same fonts and colors, and that helps you create the graphics that you need. So we'll put a link down below. I'll give you guys free access to some of the Google Slides, the branding kit that I created to help you create really good visual content.
Nice. And actually, if you want to send that to us, and we'll make sure they get it in the email that we send out with links to like everything that you've mentioned.
Yeah.
We'll make sure they get it.
Yeah, one thing I noticed for Instagram and Facebook is people don't know about Creator Studio. So the final part to all this is like, how do you post your content? And there's a lot of tools out there that can help you like post all your social media and manage all that. You don't necessarily need that when you're just getting started. We found that just using the scheduling tool, if you sit down on every Sunday night or once a week and you just have your content planned out, you can batch post everything by using the scheduling tools. So if you're using Instagram and Facebook, you'll want to look at Facebook Creator Studio. It will let you schedule all your content for your Instagram and your Facebook pages.
Sweet.
I like that one a lot. For YouTube, the long-term play, this is the final tip that I'll share with you guys, is if you're going to start posting content, especially video content publicly, you really want to look at YouTube. There's a huge opportunity right now for you to become a leader in your industry by getting content on YouTube and optimizing it. And one of the best shortcuts to do that is using a tool called vidIQ. I'll show you real quick here. I'll show my screen here, Stephanie. This is a tool that'll help you look up keywords in your industry. So we could just look at what would be one thing. I know we were doing like insurance leads for you.
Well, for them, it would be like retirement and income planning, or
there you go, retirement planning. So what I like about this tool is you search in something like retirement planning, and what we're looking for here is where is your opportunity? What kind of content should you be making that'll give you the best chance of getting views and subscribers and really attracting your clientele? Because there's a lot of competition, right? If we look here, the opportunity for just making a video on retirement planning, not a huge opportunity because there's a lot of competition.
Yes.
There's about 24,000 searches per month for that phrase, retirement planning, on YouTube. But if we use this tool, I could sort, and this tool is like 10 bucks a month or something. They have a free version, but the paid is only 10 bucks a month. What I do is I use the keyword tool on here. I type in what I want to get found, like what my videos are about and what I want people to search for when they're looking for me. And then we could sort this by the overall ranking. And we're going to see opportunities here. This is kind of interesting. So secure your retirement. That's a phrase that is getting 2,500 searches per month. And the opportunity ranking shows that there's very little competition there. There's a decent amount of people searching for that phrase, secure your retirement. So if you made videos using that keyword phrase, which means exactly that, like how to secure your retirement or 3 tips to secure your retirement, you start making video content around that, that'll give you a better chance than just typing in like retirement planning as your video title.
Right.
And then the keywords that you're using, and then what you write in your descriptions.
Awesome. Love that. All right. How about if the audience doesn't want to go through all of this and do it themselves, how do they work with you guys? And what do you offer?
Yeah, we've got a service, a done-for-you service called the Daily Marketing System, and we're just working with a handful of people right now. And what we do is we consult you on helping you get your plan. So doing that keyword research, finding the opportunities for you, helping you plan out your content so that you can just show up, whether it's once a week or twice a month. We help you kind of get a schedule and a strategy to where you're creating content that positions you as the authority and is also strategic in what you're saying so we can get that ranked and found more quickly. And then we also help you edit all the videos down and repurpose that content, that one video you create, and turn it into all your social graphics and written posts and optimize for YouTube. So we do all that for you. And then it's a matter of, we even have a service where we'll post it for you on YouTube and take care of all that. So if you need help doing all that, you can work with us. We've got a team, we've got systems, we've got all the templates that you would need. And we just help you utilize these awesome tools. So you might feel like, great, this all sounds great. The tools are awesome, but figuring this out is gonna take a lot of time. Actually doing it takes a lot of time. And then the trial and error, the experimentation can be really difficult. So if you wanna do it right, it's a lot easier and faster to work with someone like us. We do 3-month sprints. So we get you up and running, we get you in the process, like we get all your templates set up, help you start creating content. And then if you want to continue working with us, you can, or you could start to do it yourself after that.
Awesome. So, and of course, in our email, we will have your guys' contact information for them to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Any other resources or last minute things you want to share before I wrap up?
Yeah, I'd say just go to designhacker.com is the best place to follow us. If you want to learn some of the do-it-yourself stuff, we have a community of several hundred entrepreneurs who are all trying to do the same thing, get their brand, build their brand, get more online, get their online systems in place so that they can start attracting people on autopilot and have a business that works for them, that gives them more freedom. So we share a lot of tips and training on the tools that we're using, the way we're using them. We've got a free community you can join. So just go to designhacker.com and you'll see the link to get plugged in there.
Awesome.
Beyond that, feel free to reach out and contact us. And if you want to work with us directly, we'd be happy to talk to you.
Sweet. Well, you guys did such a good job that we really didn't have questions come in except for one that came in just a second ago from William Birch. He asks, would you recommend Sprinkler? I think is what it says here. And I don't know what that is. So it's KLR. Is it Sprinkler? I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably a tool that I'm guessing posts content for you.
Okay.
It's not something I'm familiar with, so I couldn't give you an answer. Okay. But yeah, there's a lot of great tools. I mean, there's tons and tons of tools. So if you find something that works for you, I mean, by all means, if it solves a problem and you feel comfortable with it, go for it. Like, technology is amazing. I love technology and tools, and it's hard to really keep up with everything because there's so many options. Just find the one that fits best for your needs and that you feel comfortable with, and give it a shot. But the bottom line is, all this tech doesn't do anything if you're not showing up and if you're not delivering as a leader and recording content.
Yes. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you sharing with our audience. I know that I've gotten a lot out of working with you, and I look forward to our continued working relationship. So with that, we are concluding our session. I hope you all found it very valuable. Again, we will be getting an email out to you with a recording and all of the resources that were recommended. And we would love for you to share this with your colleagues and friends and, really anybody that could benefit. Design Hacker does work with people in all industries. So it's not limited to the insurance and financial space, although they have become experts because they've been working with me. So they can help you. And then at the end of the month, tune in to our next webinar. It's about nourishing your personal power. It's on June 29th at 1 Central. This is our third of 8 videos or webinars in the second season of our Heart-Centered Planning series. We are going to have Brian Sweet and Brittany Anderson from Sweet Financial and Ultimate Advisor Coaching. Brian has been in this industry for almost 40 years, and he has about $1 billion under management. So he not only works with clients, but he also coaches agents and advisors. So super great content that we're going to be sharing there that could positively impact your business as well. And then we are going to, in the meantime, definitely go to our website and download the guides for our Heart-Centered Planning series. Guide number 3 is what this next webinar is going to be on. So if you get a chance to read that before, that would be awesome. And then go out and follow us on social media at the Annuity Consultants on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and I think that's where we're at. So like, obviously I don't do all of it myself, but I believe those are the top ones. All right. So with that, thank you all for attending today, and I look forward to seeing you in the future. Bye for now. Thank you.